Hey everyone, it's Marian from MIP Mix channel. So today I'm going to talk to you a bit about my experience with our 2012 Toyota Yaris. We gave it the name Yoyo. So we bought the car in the last year in October. I didn't have yet time to make a little movie of presentation, but now I'm doing this, and maybe a little later when it's gonna be a better weather outside, I'm gonna take some pictures to make a little presentation as I did with the other cars we have. So I made some notice about the road I did because we went to a long road, uh, Montreal, Niagara area. It was about 670 kilometers per sense, so about 1300 kilometers go and back. We bought their dog and we had to go to bring it home. So we went with this car because it's smaller than Toyota or Hyundai Elantra Touring, but it's automatic transmission, and we went to drivers, me and my wife and our daughter, to take care of the dog. Went back home. So after we left, we remember that we had to turn back before 10 o'clock in the evening because it was curfew here in Montreal. So now I'm going to tell you some impressions about the road, the long road with this car. As usually, each case, a car like that has good parts and bad parts. So let's start with strong points because I think it's going to be easier to finish with them. First of all, it's a small car. It's very easy to park it, to find a place where it's easy to park. It's maneuverable, you can turn everywhere you want. The directions, I feel it nice, a little heavy, but I think it's a good manner, a good way to be set up this direction, because on the highway speeds it's not going like that, the wheel, and it's giving a kind of confidence in driving. The thickness of the wheel is nice, it's falling nice in my hands. Hitting, it's pretty strong. 5-door, it's practical. Uh, the bench is foldable. It's a little more economical than our Hyundai Elantra Touring. It's about 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers. So that means about a liter of gas less per 100 kilometers. Reliability, it's best or biggest strong point, because it's not because it's only Toyota, it's the best Toyota. I mean, it's simplest car. It's with not too much electronics, and front seats are pretty comfortable. And you go from A to B, let's say, with not too much headache, because it's a car who don't need too much maintenance. This is a strong point too, because the car it's not designed to be very careful, take care of it. It's how someone told me a long time ago. proletar car. I mean, worker car, not a car for businessmen or someone else. Okay, the weak points from my point of view only. I cannot talk to anybody else. Just what I didn't like about this car. Usually, it's connected with the road experience, fit and finished, and materials quality from inside of the car. Everything is looking cheap. The engine is 1.5 liter, 106 horsepower. Even if the car is 1 ton only weight, I find it a little lazy, especially when on highway or trying to overpass someone. Soundproofing, disaster from my point of view. It's very noisy. It's accepting wind noise, wheel noise. The engine is not very strong, the engine noise, but the wind and the wheels are very, very disturbing. I'm working in a factory where we have about 100 decibels of noise. I think this car is about 90. It's, from my point of view, I had Nissan Sentra before, the Elantra Touring 2. There are noisy cars, not very well isolated, phonic isolated, but this one it's overpassing there easy. At 120 kilometers per hour, it's, let's say, easy. It's not easy. I mean, after a day driving, a day like that, I don't know. It's not the best thing I can tell about this car. The interior panels are seems to be cheap. They are pretty nice assembled, but I found like all kind of characteristics. Let's say intermittent wipers, just one speed. I didn't drove yet until now a car with only one speed of the wiper, intermittent wiper. If it's raining too much, it's too slow. If it's raining not enough rain outside, it's coming too often, and it's make noise. It's scratching the windshield. The other cars I drove, it was little more expensive, different classes, but I drove even a Hyundai Accent at the moment, and even that car has 4 positions for intermittent wipers. Thermical isolation, again, it's not a good one. I felt outside was minus 25 degrees Celsius, and when we left Montreal and when you arrived Niagara area, there was around minus 10. So it was pretty cool. The car wasn't started for a week before to go there. And I clean up the ice on front doors with a scratcher, and on the rear doors I didn't clean it up, and after 7 hours of driving, uh, only after 7 hours I saw that ice melted. So inside I felt uh, the air from outside, cool air near the windshield, on the bottom at my legs. I feel on one side warm air and the other side like coming a little more colder air. So I didn't find that car very well isolated from the thermical point of view. Well, it was pretty cool, but from my point of view, for the price the Toyota asking for a Yaris, I don't find this quality of construction at where it should be. Um, Another thing I didn't like, at least our model, it's not having in the front bench. We don't have an armrest kit. Um, so we put a sleeping bag between to have a better support, and it was okay. Um Another weak point, I mean, could be in a case of an accident because the car is so small. If this car hits hitting a big monster, US or American monster, it's too small the car, and it's not gonna be good for those who are in the car. So, as conclusions or observations I made, the car did its job. We went from A to B with no problems at all. It's a city car. We put gas. If we say Toyota, usually I mean Toyota, it's a boring car, driving and inside design. Uh, the 1.5 liter work well. I like it, but it's a little lazy. The transmission, I don't know exactly, it's 4 or 5 speeds, but it's work very well. That for transmission, chapeau. Toyota, it's fantastic. No hesitation at all. It's the car is having now 143,000 kilometers. Not too much, but it's running like new. Um, this kind of car I recommend it to the young people, especially, or students or young families. But I didn't like to take a car like that on a long roads as I did like that to make in a day uh, more than 1,000 kilometers. It's a little tired. You get tired. But for city driving, short distance, yeah, it's doing its job. Uh, Drive it smart, wise, and no problem. Uh, if, if I had when I was young, if I had a chance to have a car like that, I was very very happy. But now at my age, with family, uh, it's a good car to go at work, shopping, but well, to accept its limitation. So um, it's not too fun to drive car from my point of view. I had Golf and I drove Golf. I drove Volkswagen or Mercedes or BM, and those was car. But when you see Toyota, that's not fun to drive car. And if someone is buying a car like that, I suggest that that person who's buying this car to remember when that person don't like something about this car, that car, about the Yaris. Remember why you choose to buy a car like that. Because you didn't buy a Toyota Yaris to have fun to drive. You bought it for its reliability, first of all. So, as I did when I bought my Elantra Touring, I bought it for the smallest price I could take for a car on that class. So, it was spacious, it was uh, practical, but the comfort or ride or specification, not a sporty car. I didn't like it too much. It was noisy. It was bad direction setting software. After 4 years, they fix it to be nice as it should be. So, but when I found frustration, what I thought to myself, why I bought a car. When I bought a car, it was the problems uh, with the crisis in 2008 till 2012. In 2011, when I bought a car, problem in Italy, problem in Portugal, problem in Spain, problem I don't know. We didn't know how it's going to work the economy in the US, in Canada here, or somewhere else. I thought it's much easier to pay 300 per month for a Hyundai instead to pay 400 for a Toyota or 500 for a Volkswagen. So when I didn't like something like that on the product I bought, I remember why I bought the car. What was the compromise I take? If you don't have to take any compromise, well, but if you have to make some compromises, and when you buy a Toyota, uh, you should do compromises. This is my point of view. You don't have to be to agree with me, but this is my point of view. Thank you for watching me, and God bless you. And I wish you to have good roads. And until the next video, I wish you well, and see you soon again. Bye.